Good something, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I had to delete something I just did, and I'm doing this all over again. So, good late morning, almost afternoon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. I'm cracking up for several different reasons today. The first one is that I just had to delete another video because it ran out of recording time, and I'm trying to act like I'm just doing this, that this is just new, and I'm going to repeat what I've said before, but you wouldn't have any idea of that unless I just confessed to you, which I did. So it's not going to be, whatever. Okay. And the other reason I'm giggling is because the same reason I was giggling in the one I just deleted is because I find myself involved in the weirdest crap sometimes. And, you know, things that I never really, I don't want to say cared about, but I wasn't really drawn to. Suddenly I'm spending half of my life looking at it. I mean, what the hell's wrong with me? What I'm trying to say is, you know how I have this newfound admiration for, actually newfound discovery of, that Richard Hall. Why do I always get his last name right if I'm so in love with him and his work? Richard Hall, I believe that's it. Yes, and his friend Andrew Johnson. I always want to call him Andrew Jackson, like one of our presidents. Okay, Lisa, bring it around. I'm giddy today. Just today. Normally I'm dead serious. Yet another controversial cup. Okay. I did not know this, of course, being new to Richard Hall, that he did this total expose on this Madeleine McCann case. The little girl who supposedly was kidnapped from Portugal years ago. I don't even remember the year. Now, what I wanted to say is, people, I don't understand. From the minute I heard of that ridiculous story, okay, of the parents being like several yards across a courtyard, having dinner and living it up, and then going to check on the children that they've left in an open apartment at a resort. Does that sound suspicious to you, ladies and gentlemen? I've always thought the most basic parts of that story were completely ridiculous. And I don't understand why other people don't see the same. I mean, okay. First of all, if you're going to go on vacation and you have a couple of dollars to rub together, which evidently this couple does, why do people drag their kids along to these resorts that are, if they're not going to really hang with them? Do you know what I mean? I don't want you to think I'm rude about kids or any of that jazz, but I'm just saying, you know, some people amaze me, I guess. I could see if you have to take kids because you don't have a lot of money or, you know, whatever, you can't afford to leave them back under the care of somebody else or what have you, but it seems to me like a lot of these people took their kids, and then for most of the days they were at like a daycare type center and blah blah blah. It just is weird. Why bother dragging the little kids along? I mean, little kids, how much can they enjoy a trip? Now, she could have because she was almost 4 years old, but the little baby twins and stuff, it just seems like an inconvenience to me, ladies and gentlemen. And you're going to come out, you're going to think I hate kids, which I don't hate kids. It's just that I'm trying to be practical about it, for crying out loud. And I was raised that way because my parents were not much for dragging the kids along. I was the youngest, so I was all, you know what I mean. My sister and brother were pretty much, well, let's see, Blaney was 10 when I was born. So by the time, and then he ran away and stuff at like 17. He was a troubled child. Now he's a pillar of humanity. Yeah, I mean, I was like almost raised like an only child. Almost, for the most part. Mother and Dad would never dream of dragging me out to some cocktail party or some vacation with them. Hell no, they pawned me off on Grandma or somebody. You know, it's just crazy. But leaving that aside, the whole story is ridiculous. I've always thought it was ridiculous. Something always told me the parents were probably involved. I don't think they murdered the child violently. They probably didn't do something very pleasant and she died in the process. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now, that's not to say that I always think parents are involved, because there's some people I absolutely from the get-go don't think they're involved. And that, like John Walsh and his wife, whenever Adam, their son, went missing. And my brother actually worked on that movie. It was one of his first things he worked on, although he didn't get a credit. He was very much low man on the totem pole. But they filmed that in Houston, ladies and gentlemen. That Adam, you know, the made-for-television movie starring Joe Beth Williams and Daniel J. Travanti. Daniel J. Travanti gave us some coffee. It was super strong, super duper strong. We kept it in our freezer for the longest, and you'd drink it and be wired to the max all day. That's what I remember about that. A lot of neat, fun things went on back there for me. I didn't realize how serious the show was in terms of, you know, what it was about. Even though my brother gave me the script, which I still have in a closet in the bedroom, the only closet in the house. Yeah, so at the wrap party, everybody was crying and such during a song that was being played, and I kind of didn't get it because I was stupid. I was 19, and I didn't read the script that was given to me. Okay, so I guess the bottom line of the whole thing wasn't to tell you that I got to be involved or watch them do scenes. What it kind of was about that. I just wanted to let you know. But it was about that I don't necessarily always think the parents are to blame. You know what I mean? But in this case, it seemed really, really freaking weird to me. And why didn't people just think it was weird from the get-go? It was just strange. But anyhow, this Richard Hall, in case anybody is enthralled with this Madeleine McCann saga, he has done, oh my lord, it's like he's dedicated his life to it. The one that I am still watching, because I started it last night, and you know, I'm doing other things, believe it or not. It's 4 hours long, and then he was talking about this during another thing that, remember I told you about that gentleman who does, what's it called? Analysis, statement analysis. His last name's Hyatt, I believe. I said he looked like my brother. This is when I was kind of discovering the Richard Hall person. God bless, I hope I have his name right, Richard Hall. I don't think I have it written down here. Yeah, that was when I discovered that he had been involved in this Madeleine McCann research. And the reason why he's so heavily involved in it, ladies and gentlemen, is to prove how the mainstream media is just, oh my God, so untrustworthy, so ridiculous when it comes to this and many other stories. And how they've covered for the real story that unfolded there at that resort. So, yeah, you know what? I came out a few weeks ago and said this, and I'll say it again here just in case you missed it. I might not have even said it here. I think I might have said it in my column. I think the corporate media, and this might sound really reactionary, I think the corporate media is probably perhaps the most dangerous entity on the planet. This is where I agree with Donald Trump. Oh my God, yes, clutch pearls. I agree with Donald Trump that he says the media, what does he call them? A danger to humanity. What does he say they are? They're something along those lines where, you know, they're a danger, they're a threat to society. I forget what it was, but I do agree with him on that. You know, hey, don't shoot me. I can agree with somebody on something. Yeah, so anyhow, I'm cracking up inside and outside earlier because I just get involved in the stuff that never really held my interest before. I immediately thought, oh my Lord, please, the whole story is silly. And now I find myself glued to it, all in the name of Richard Hall, who I hope I have his name right. I think I got the other guy's name right, though. Andrew Johnson. Not Jackson. It's Andrew Johnson. So, anyhow, yeah, and I've had some comments from, like, Ann Beck. She was very glad that I found those two because she finds them very trustworthy and good. And so is my friend Sandy. So, yeah, live and learn. You know, it takes certain people longer, I guess, to figure out what's going on, or at least be on the road to figuring out what's going wrong. So I try to be gentle, and sometimes it doesn't work out right. Sometimes I sound like I'm not being gentle. In terms of those that are on their path to unearthing certain things the way they really are, it may be a slower pace than I used or something. Although I was pretty slow about it for a long time. So, you know, I try to be kind, and I try to be mindful that not everybody arrives at conclusions on my timeline. It would be on their own, of course, and what they're comfortable with and what their emotions can handle whenever they have to give up like a preconceived notion of the world around them and suddenly be introduced to something totally different. I hope that makes sense. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I just thought, by God, I'm going to make a video here in a minute and explain how I've been glued to something that, I mean, Lord, I just can't believe it. But, I mean, it's so good. I mean, I guess this might be kind of a feather in the hat of Richard Hall, because I will be highly embarrassed if I've been saying Richard Hall and that's not his name. Sometimes I say things and they do not sound right at all. I'm pretty sure it's Richard Hall of the Rich Planet TV. Yes, it is, because Rich Planet, of course, Lisa. Oh my God. Now, what was I saying? Oh, because I wasn't really that enthralled with the story about, you know, the family. I mean, God love the little girl. Of course I'm worried about that. I mean, who wouldn't be? Some monster wouldn't be. That's who. And even I am enthralled. That's how well done his research is. So, there you have that. Look, I'm going to wind this up. I can't even believe I went on this long. Lounging with Lisa. The video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Join me, join others. I don't know if you really want to join me, because I'm kind of a rambling person today. Drop your political identities. Let's focus on issues. And please, leave your labels behind, baby. Leave your labels behind. Because rain, shine. Something we're riding on the groove line tonight. You remember that song? I don't either. Okay, bye.